RWBY, Volume 5, Episode 7, Rest and Resolutions. What happens? The kids sit around and eat dinner while they catch up. Ren tells us how everyone's totally developed until Crow and Oscar show up. Ozpin explains that he used his magic to let the Bronwyns turn into birds, but that his power is running out. Ozpin makes it clear he's the old wizard from the Maiden story. After everyone agrees to stay, Oz says they'll make a plan later so the kids can hang out more. Elsewhere, Cinder, Emerald, Mercury, and Watts show up to the tribe and threatens a fight before cutting away. I have to be real with you. This episode is an absolute chore to get through. I was sitting there looking at its thumbnail wishing I could do anything else than watch it. When your viewer is thinking, I don't want to watch that episode, you've failed as an entertainment company. Your viewers should not have to psych themselves up just to sit through a 10-minute episode. So let's go into why I don't like watching this. I hate this whole dinner scene. It's useless and boring. It starts off with everyone just yammering at each other. They're not having multiple conversations, everyone's just talking over each other. And it only gets worse from there. It's just recap. A whole scene dedicated to explicitly telling us shit we already know. Why not tell us something new, like stuff about Weiss's mom, where Ranger got their new outfits, anything? It's so boring to listen to the characters explain to each other what we've already seen. Not to mention how garbage everyone's performance is. No one sounds believable. They all talk like they're reading the script for the first time. They also can't fucking figure out how to laugh. Ruby especially, caterwauling over shit that's not even funny. It feels so scripted and fake to the point that it dips into being cringy. Garbage performances wouldn't be as much of a problem as they are if the script wasn't shit too. Lowest common denominator responses, clunky lead-ups to jokes. It really feels like this is the first draft to the script, complete with all the placeholder dialogue that's devoid of character.
I couldn't have done it without Ruby wearing it down.
What do you mean? All Ruby did was shoot at it, and we all know bullets are useless. Ruby arguably did the least when it came to fighting the Knuckleavi. Trauma from losing a limb? PTSD? Ha 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 ha! No, Yang's hand just shimmies a little sometimes. Shooting off her arm is just a funny and definitely doesn't provoke any unsavory memories. Did you even do a single Google search on how people cope with trauma? I can at least appreciate that this is build up to something important later, but I've got issues with that scene too that we'll discuss when we get there. Either way, it's dumb Yang would shoot off her arm like that, because it results in no winner. And her stupid smirk is annoying and just stuck on her face like the animators forgot she could continue emoting. It's fucking annoying! I hate this episode! Oh my fuck! Ugh. Barbara also seems to be doing her best to overthrow Lindsay as the least convincing laugher in the show. Succeed. Got something in my eye. The nickname conversation is useless. The clunky dialogue and wooden performances removes any sort of emotion from the scene. It doesn't feel like finally getting to see these characters reconnect after so long. It feels like a poorly done scene that was rushed out. This scene could have been the same, but have the characters actually talk to each other, and it would have been better. Rather than just jokey jokes constantly, let the mood dip or get heavy, let the kids complain to each other. Just letting it sound believable without pushing the oversaturated comedy. You know what's better than actually developing your character? Just pretending you did! It's downright embarrassing how hard they try to convince us they've written characters that have grown at all. Yang's lost arm resulted in no growth. Nora only exists to make jokes. Ren is no different from before they found Kuroyuri. I've already mentioned how Ruby does nothing towards the plot and only seems to be there for other characters to exposit at. They pretend that losing his first kiss made Jean develop, but all it really did was give him an excuse to be grumpy and steal the spotlight from time to time. The only one that's really developed is Weiss. She's gone from racist prima donna to standing up against her family. But we already knew that without Ren's forced monologue. If you have to dedicate a full minute to convincing your audience your characters have grown over 59 episodes, then I think you need to reassess your career choice.
I tried to 1v1 a Nevermore on the second day of school.
No, you tried to 1v1 a Deathstalker. It's like the writers don't even watch their own show. Fuck off, Jean. Make sure he leans against the wall like he's cool. What a fucking edgelord. Ruby mentions Ren gets deep if he feels like talking, but Ren's never been untalkative before. Or you could just pretend you've written him differently. That works too. Yang, pull the stick out of your ass and stop trying so hard. Jeez. Pick up the fucking pace. It's like everyone's loaded themselves up on barbiturates and they're stuck talking in slow motion. They all wait forever to speak up, and they take forever to spit their words out. The ticking clock in the background makes it abundantly clear how much of my time is being wasted on this exposition dump. Gotta make sure you put the camera low enough to see up the girls' skirt blobs. Yang, take a chill pill. Y'all were fine with Ozpin taking over a young boy's body. Why is, also now they can fly, such an issue? It doesn't seem to hurt. They don't really seem bummed about this new power. Raven uses it constantly. If they want to convince us Ozpin's doing fucked up shit, then actually have him do it. You can't just pretend now they can turn into birds is something worth getting worked up over without good reason. If you want us to question Oz, then do your damn job and write a believable reason for it. Oh hey, it's pretty cool to know Ozpin is the old wizard. We kinda all figured as much though. The only important or new piece of information in this whole scene, and it's just reaffirming what was already hinted at. Sit your ass down. Nobody was worried Yang would leave. You didn't need to force in the stupid bait and switch at all.
If there's one thing I know about her, it's that she somehow always knows the right thing to do.
It's cause RT seems to think protagonist means the one plot happens around. Ozpin's been forthright with the kids this whole time. This demand for no more lies, no more half-truths feels unnecessary. That is a difficult question. One I believe is best left for a different episode. Explaining the plan would take up too much time. We need to ship this episode out tomorrow and can't risk being late by animating anything other than sitting still and talking. Thank goodness we can cut corners by having no one move. People don't watch RWBY to be visually entertained, they just want characters to exposit the plot at them while talking slowly. Oh, hey Oscar! Glad to see you show up just in time for the scene to end. It's mind-blowing how much they push Oscar out of the show after doing a surprisingly good job building him up last volume. When Volume 5 started, I wanted to get to see Oscar hang out with the others and see how their personalities interacted. But Ozpin's constantly taking over. Oscar just seems to be there to get flustered around the girls or fall over. It soon becomes clear that whenever Oscar's on screen, we're gonna get some boring exposition or backstory. And that's a shame. They had done a good job getting the viewer excited about a new member of the cast and then just tossed him aside. Nora is not funny. Just yelling whatever you have to say does not make it suddenly become a joke. She makes me think of Pinkie Pie, and that's not good. Pinkie Pie is a shallow caricature for a children's show that maintains a status quo. I shouldn't be finding similarities between that and a character from the type of show RWBY's trying to be. Maybe it would help if they let Nora do anything other than scream comedy shit at us. Fucking what? Man, Raven seems to be the easiest person to find. How did Yang lose her for so long? Why is Emerald the one to walk forward when Cinder addressed her, "Make him," at Mercury? And of course we cut away from the fight. Wouldn't want to accidentally entertain the audience. And so, that was Rest and Resolutions. It should be no surprise by now that I hate this episode. It's my least favorite episode of RWBY, not just this volume, but the whole show. They've successfully written an episode more boring than Menagerie and more aggravating than a much-needed talk. The whole episode is a waste of time between a cringy dinner scene with some of the worst performances I've heard come out of RWBY and an overly long exposition dump that could have been a fraction of the length it was. And then after making us sit through all the poorly written jokes and long-winded explanations, they have the audacity to cut away from a fight that we don't even get to see later. We never see Emerald fight those bandits. Do the writers not understand we want to see something fun happen in an episode? If it weren't for these reviews, I never would have touched this episode again. When your viewer has the episode paused and thinking, I could do the dishes instead, you have fucked up. This episode is a complete waste of time dragged out to the bare minimum of an acceptable runtime by slowing everything down to a mind-numbing pace. This episode could have been shaved down and made into a single scene of a full episode, maybe even one where something fucking happens. But they chose to go the lazy route and spat out an episode with an amateurish script, unconvincing line reads, and minimal animation effort. Rest and resolutions. Oh yeah, gotta rest up from all that sitting around and talking you've been doing by sitting around and talking some more. I always felt Volume 4 should have had more episodes. It just seemed to be missing that extra length to flesh out some of the character arcs. So once I heard that Volume 5 was getting 14 episodes, I assumed that it wouldn't be an issue, as now they had plenty of time to dedicate to all the arcs they want. But no. Instead, RT was suddenly faced with too many episodes and not enough to put in them. Their solution? Shit out episodes like this that simply fill up the runtime while putting the least amount of effort possible into them. Something I saw a lot in the comments for Volume 5 was, I wish these episodes were longer. But what I think they really meant was, I wish something happened in each episode. Episodes like this one are devoid of content, a waste of time as we wait for the plot to get moving or for the characters to develop. It's called entertainment. We want to be entertained. I get that it's easy to write a bloated talking head scene and having everyone sit still, but that's not fun to watch. If you want to call RWBY an action anime, then you need to figure out that those weapons aren't just for show, and you won't just cut away from every fight you set up. Or, if you want a conversation-centric episode, let it happen naturally. You don't need to force in jokes, you don't need an exposition dump. If the characters are going to talk so much, let it be worth our while. Rather than just retelling something we already know, let the audience in on a character's headspace. Let us see how they interact with each other and how that may be different from the last time they saw each other. Hint at surprises for later, or character-important facets that might lead to development. A conversation is like a fight. Every word a swing of the sword. You wouldn't have your character waving their weapon around randomly, so don't waste your conversations on unnecessary recap. If you want RWBY to be taken seriously, then you need to start taking your job as writer or director seriously.
That's my fake laugh. Do you buy it?